You've been told to work harder, think more, push your mind until it cracks the code of life. But here's the truth. No one bothered to whisper to you. You are not meant to push. You are meant to tune. Right now, as you hear these words, you are vibrating, not metaphorically, but literally. Every atom in your body hums with an electrical frequency, a song only the quantum field can hear. And the field, it never stops listening. Imagine you're standing in front of a vast mirror, but this is no ordinary reflection. This mirror doesn't show your face, it shows your state, your fear, your love, your doubt, your certainty. Everything you are transmitting is returned to you as physical reality. The people you meet, the doors that open, the obstacles that seem to appear from nowhere. None of it is random. The field isn't judging you. It is obeying you. Most of us have been living as if the reflection came first, as if we have to wait for reality to change before we feel different inside. We tell ourselves, once I have the money, I'll feel secure. Once I'm in the relationship, I'll feel loved. Once I succeed, I'll feel worthy. But in the quantum world, this order is reversed. Security, love, worthiness. When you vibrate them first, they reshape the matter around you. Now here's the paradox that keeps so many trapped. You can't fake your vibration. You can repeat affirmations for hours, but if your body is tense with scarcity, the field responds to the scarcity, not the words. You can visualize a dream home every night, but if you are still rehearsing old fears in your subconscious, the field reads the fear. Vibration is not what you think, it's what you are. Picture a radio. You want to hear your favorite station, but you keep the dial on static. You don't call the radio company to complain. You turn the dial. You tune into the frequency where the signal is already broadcasting. That's manifestation, not creating something from nothing, but aligning yourself with what is already there. Every outcome you can imagine exists as a frequency in the field. Your job is to match it. And here's where the awakening begins. You start noticing how your vibration shifts, not just from your big emotions, but from the smallest moments. The way you wake up, the tone of your inner voice, the tension you hold in your shoulders, that fleeting resentment you pretend doesn't matter. It matters. That quick burst of gratitude you shrug off, it matters even more. We've been taught to obsess over actions in the 3D world, what to say, what to do, what to plan. But the truth is, the quantum field doesn't respond to what you do. It responds to who you are when you do it. Two people can take the same action, one rooted in fear, the other rooted in trust, and the outcomes will be worlds apart. Why the field isn't fooled. So I want you to pause right now and ask yourself, not what do I want to happen, but what frequency am I broadcasting right now? You can feel it. If you close your eyes for a moment, the energy in your chest, the way your stomach feels, the speed of your thoughts. This is the signal the field is tuning into. This is the energy that will become your tomorrow. Maybe right now you're thinking, but my life is chaotic. I'm surrounded by stress, deadlines, obligations. How am I supposed to hold a high vibration? That's the invitation. To realize that your outer world is the echo of your inner one, not the other way around. You are not powerless to chaos unless you choose to match its frequency. Here's the shift. You stop reacting, you start generating. You begin to treat your inner state like the most important work you'll ever do. Because it is. Instead of letting life decide your vibration, you choose it. When you do, you'll see the smallest adjustments ripple into massive changes. The friend who calls out of nowhere, the opportunity that lands in your inbox, the solution that arrives in your dreams. None of it is a coincidence. All of it is resonance. The awakening frequency is about moving from unconscious reaction to conscious transmission. It's about recognizing that you are not a passive receiver in this field. You are a broadcaster, and reality is always playing back your song. So as we move forward, keep this image with you. You standing in front of that vast quantum mirror, watching it rearrange itself in response to your tune. You don't pound on the glass to force the reflection. You adjust your own frequency. The reflection cannot help but follow. There's a point where the mind can go no further. It keeps asking, why building walls of logic around something that was never meant to be contained? This is where you step beyond the mind's horizon. The mind is a brilliant tool, but it is not the architect of reality. It is the interpreter. It processes labels and narrates, but it does not pull the strings of the quantum field. If you've been living under the illusion that thinking harder will unlock the life you want, you've been standing in the doorway, never realizing the open sky beyond it. In quantum terms, thought is a surface ripple. The true currents lie deeper in the field of pure potential. This is where energy organizes itself before matter forms. Everything you can touch or see was first a pattern in the unseen, and you, without even realizing it, have been influencing those patterns all your life. But here's where it gets tricky. The ego hates the unknown. It clings to familiar scripts, even if those scripts cause you pain. It will argue for your limitations because they feel safe. It will say, I need proof before I believe, not realizing that in the quantum world, belief is the proof. Your state of being is the evidence the field reads before matter takes shape. So the invitation here is radical. Stop letting the mind be the gatekeeper. Stop letting the ego demand that the map be drawn before you take a single step. The quantum field doesn't operate on a static map. It responds to movement, to choice, to the frequency you emit in real time. Think of it like walking through fog. You can't see the whole path, but each step reveals the next. That's how manifestation works in the quantum model you are co-creating with something that reveals itself only as you engage with it. The mind says, I need certainty before I act. The field whispers, act, and certainty will come. When you slip beyond the mind, you notice how much you've been holding on to control. You've been rehearsing outcomes, running worst-case scenarios, micromanaging life as if you could bully it into obedience. But the truth is, the field doesn't respond to control. It responds to coherence. Coherence is born when thought, emotion, and energy align in the same frequency. This is why meditation, breathwork, or even moments of deep stillness are so powerful. They quiet the chatter, dissolve the ego's grip, allow you to feel the hum of the field beneath your skin. In these moments, you stop thinking your way forward. You start sensing your way forward. You are no longer chasing. You are attuning. Something strange happens here. You begin to receive without effort. Insights arrive like whispers. Synchronicities stack in improbable ways. The person you were trying to meet calls you out of nowhere. Opportunities slip through cracks you didn't even know existed. From the mind's perspective, it feels like magic. From the quantum perspective, it's simply resonance. Beyond the mind's horizon, you also realize how deeply interconnected everything is. Quantum entanglement isn't just a physics experiment. It's your life. The choices you make, the state you hold, ripple outward into the web of reality, influencing connections and outcomes in ways the linear mind can't track. This is where trust becomes a frequency. Not a concept, not wishful thinking, but a real, embodied vibration. The kind that says, I am supported, even when you don't see how. The kind that keeps your energy stable in uncertainty. When you hold that the field aligns in ways that defy logic. So if you want to step into the life waiting for, you start here. Recognize when your mind is running the show. Notice when it's telling you stories about why something can't happen, or why it's too late, or why you're not ready. Then pause, breathe, feel into the space beyond the words, beyond the thought patterns. There is an entire frequency range beyond the mind's horizon. This is where the quantum field listens most closely. Maybe you'll start to notice what you thought was the edge was never the edge at all. It was just the point where you decided to stop looking. There's a quiet power moving beneath everything you do, everything you think, everything you feel. It's older than your conscious mind, older than your current life, older than the stories you tell yourself about who you are. This is the realm of the subconscious, the hidden alchemist that shapes your reality without asking for your permission. From the moment you wake to the moment you sleep, your subconscious is broadcasting frequencies into the quantum field. These signals are not poetic metaphors. They are electromagnetic patterns that the field reads with perfect precision. The irony: you're often unaware of what you're actually broadcasting. Think about it. You may say, "I want abundance," but deep down, you're running programs of lack inherited from parents, teachers, or society. You may affirm, "I am loved," but your body still remembers the sting of rejection, holding it like static in your field. This is why so many people try to manifest with conscious intent, but get inconsistent results. The subconscious is running a different script entirely. Here's the secret that changes everything. The subconscious is not your enemy. It's a master chemist that takes the raw materials of your beliefs, emotions, memories, and distills them into vibration. It just needs new ingredients. To work with this alchemist, you first have to see it clearly. Notice your automatic reactions, the way you flinch when a bill arrives, the way your shoulders tense when you think about taking a risk, the stories that loop in your mind when you're alone. These are not random habits. They are the recipes your subconscious has been using to generate your personal frequency. When you identify them, you can begin to transmute them. This is where ancient alchemical principles meet modern consciousness work. The old masters spoke of turning lead into gold, but the true alchemy is turning fear into trust, scarcity into gratitude, shame into worthiness. And just like physical alchemy, this is a process. You dissolve the old, you refine the essence, you integrate the new. One of the most effective ways to influence your subconscious is through state, not logic. The subconscious doesn't speak the language of reasoning. It speaks the language of imagery, repetition, and feeling. That's why a single, vivid, emotionally charged moment can rewire you faster than 100 rational arguments. Picture it like planting seeds. Every time you hold a thought with emotional intensity, you press it into the fertile soil of your subconscious. And the field responds to whatever grows there, whether it's a weed or a flower. This is why the energy behind your desire matters more than the words you use to describe it. Now, here's the quantum twist. The subconscious is not just shaping your inner world. It's influencing the field directly. When your subconscious frequency is coherent with your conscious desire, reality bends quickly. When they're at odds, the signal gets scrambled and results feel slow or chaotic. This is why quantum manifestation begins with internal congruence. Before you try to pull a new reality into form, you align the broadcaster, you. This isn't about pretending you don't have doubts or fears. It's about bringing them into the light, understanding their origins, and alchemizing them into energy that supports your intention. There's a moment that will come when you notice it. You respond differently to a situation that used to trigger you. The bill arrives, you feel neutral, even calm. The challenge appears, you feel curious, not afraid. That's the sign your subconscious has changed its recipe, and the quantum field will start sending back different results. Because remember, in the quantum realm, you don't get what you want, you get what you are. When the hidden alchemist within you begins broadcasting the frequency of the life you choose, reality will have no choice but to match it. You are connected to more than you can possibly see. Right now, you are entangled your energy, your choices, your very awareness linked with threads that stretch across time, space, and possibility. Quantum entanglement is not just a scientific curiosity, it is the hidden architecture of your life. In physics, entanglement means two particles remain connected so completely that the state of one instantly influences the other, no matter the distance between them. Now imagine that principle operating in the fabric of your reality. Every intention you set, every deep emotion you feel, sends a kind of signal into the web of existence, and that signal locks you into a relationship with certain outcomes. You might call it destiny. You might call it alignment. The quantum field calls it coherence. When you choose a thought and hold it with emotion, you create an energetic signature. That signature is not isolated. It's a handshake with every matching frequency in the field. It's like lighting a beacon. Every reality that resonates with that beacon begins to move toward you. Not slowly, not eventually, instantly in the quantum sense. The physical unfolding might appear to take time, but the connection is already there. This is why your inner work is never wasted. You may feel like nothing's happening on the surface, but in the invisible web, new connections are forming timelines, shifting opportunities, reweaving themselves around you. Every coherent signal you send sets the quantum threads vibrating in your favor. This is where you get to play differently. Instead of chasing outcomes in the 3D world, you begin to nurture connections in the unseen. You cultivate the feeling of already having what you desire, not as a fantasy, but as a frequency. That frequency becomes the thread that pulls the parallel version of you, where your desire is already reality, closer into your lived experience. Some will call this magic, but in truth, it's physics. The timelines where your dreams are already realized exist right now, side by side, with the one you're currently inhabiting. You don't build them, you tune into them. You step onto them by becoming the person who naturally belongs there. Here's the paradox. The more you try to get something, the more you affirm you don't have it, and the signal you send keeps you entangled with lack. The more you embody the energy of already having it, the more you naturally align with the thread that carries it into form. Entanglement works both ways. It can bind you to scarcity as easily as it can bind you to abundance. So how do you shift? You notice where your energy is tied. You notice the conversations you have, the emotions you rehearse, the expectations you unconsciously reinforce. Every one of them is a choice point. Every one is an entanglement, and you decide with clarity which ones you are willing to keep feeding. Sometimes that means cutting cords energetically, emotionally, even physically. It means withdrawing your attention from frequencies that don't serve you, knowing that attention is the current that keeps the thread alive. Sometimes it means strengthening new bonds, spending time in the energy of people, places, and practices that match the life you are stepping into. Because in the quantum field, you are never isolated. You are a node in a vast, pulsing network of possibility. When you choose your entanglements with intention, the entire network shifts to reflect your choice. So imagine it, you not as a single point in space, but as a web of luminous threads stretching into infinity. Some threads heavy with the past, some vibrating with the frequency of your highest self. Your power lies in deciding which ones to energize. Once you do, the infinite responds, not tomorrow, not someday, but now. There comes a moment in your journey where learning ends and becoming begins. This is the embodiment of the quantum self, not an idea you visit in meditation, not a state you dip into when life is going well, but a living identity you inhabit in every breath. By now you've tuned, your frequency stepped beyond the mind, aligned the subconscious, and chosen your entanglements. But embodiment is where these threads weave into one seamless fabric. It's where you stop trying to manifest and start being the person who naturally generates the reality you desire. Here's the truth. The quantum field doesn't respond to temporary states. It responds to your baseline, your default setting. Embodiment raises that baseline until it matches the reality you've been calling in, so there's no gap for the field to bridge. You become the match. Think of an actor who isn't just playing a role, but has completely internalized it. They don't have to remember their lines. The lines live in them. That's you, with your future self. The identity you've been visualizing isn't something to reach for. It's the role you inhabit so fully that life forgets to question it. This is not about perfection. The quantum self isn't flawless, it's coherent. It moves through contrast without collapsing into fear. It sees challenge as feedback, not failure. It recognizes that every moment is a chance to reinforce its frequency. Because it is anchored in this awareness, it doesn't lose alignment. When life gets messy, it recalibrates instantly. You will notice it in the small ways. First, you speak differently, not because you're forcing it, but because your words flow from a different place. You make decisions more quickly because doubt is no longer your home. You carry yourself as though the reality you desire is already here, and the world begins to treat you accordingly. The field responds because embodiment removes the tension between wanting and having. When you live as the version of you who already has, there's nothing left to chase. The signal you send is clean. That's when reality starts accelerating. Synchronicities stack timelines, collapse, and the improbable becomes ordinary. The culmination is this: you don't manifest what you want. You manifest what you are. When you are the frequency of your highest vision, that vision must become matter. It is the law of the field. So remember the metaphor: you are not knocking on the door of your dream life, hoping it will open. You are the home the dream is walking toward you, drawn by the light pouring from your windows. You are capable of this. More than capable, you are already wired for it. The quantum field is not testing you, it is matching you. The question is not whether it will respond, but whether you will hold the signal long enough to watch it crystallize. I want to leave you with this invitation. In the comments, share one word that embodies the quantum energy you're choosing to live from beyond the limits of the mind. Maybe it's expansion, maybe it's coherence, maybe it's sovereignty, or maybe it's something only you can name. Let that word be more than a comment. Let it be an activation, a declaration, a frequency you're sending into the field. Not just here, but in every thought, every choice, every breath. If what you've felt here has stirred the deeper self within you, if you've sensed a remembering, a shift in your field, I warmly invite you to subscribe. This isn't just a channel. It's a living resonance chamber, a sanctuary for those ready to unlock the hidden energy of their being and step into the truth of who they are. When you join, you're not just hitting a button. You're attuning to a movement of minds and hearts, expanding what's possible. Thank you for journeying here with me. Thank you for your energy, your presence, your frequency. You are not just an observer in this quantum unfolding, you are the unfolding. Keep tuning, keep aligning, keep unlocking the self beyond your mind.